Spencer practicing this week?
Let's do ourselves a favor. Y'all don't ask me about injuries, and we won't have any problems. I'm not going to tell you about injuries. I'm not going to tell you who practices and doesn't. You wouldn't reveal your hand either. It's nothing personal, but I'm not going to talk about who practices and who doesn't practice just because it's not fair and it's not smart on my part.
Mike, I understand it's not smart, but ABC before the game or during the game said you told them you didn't practice, and then after the game you said I'm not going to talk about it. So I don't know why
So what happened is Molly came and got me right before kickoff, and she said, "We know that Spencer did not practice. We know this. We know that." About 7 other things, and what I should have told her was that those aren't things that I discuss, and I will in the future. In fact, we should probably put that out from our own department, and that way we don't have that issue. But the players don't like it. They don't like people knowing they practice, don't practice. You have some guys that have potential NFL. They don't want, even though they might know, they might not know. They don't really like it either. And it's not smart to show our hand. That was a mistake on my part now that you bring it up, but it was different because it was 20 minutes before kickoff versus talking about it during the week. But really, I should have said the same thing to her I do the local press, to say, hey, those aren't things I talk about. That way it's fair to everybody. I would say that's probably a good point.
Mike, let me ask you this. Quarterback has a shoulder issue. You don't want to go deep into what's wrong with him specifically, but I would assume that's a little bit more worrisome for a head coach when he's got a quarterback dealing with an ankle tweak, or where it's different than if it's below the waist and not in his throwing arm.
It just depends on what it is. And it can be a variety of things. It can be a non-throwing shoulder. And so we just have to weigh our options based on where we're at and what it is, and then go on down the road. Any type of injury is a concern for a player that we have that we want to play on Saturday that can't practice as much during the week. But it's not something that we haven't ever dealt with. I mean, we deal with this all the time. That's just the way it is. Sometimes guys can't make it back for the game. Other guys have to play. Sometimes they can make it back.
Let me ask you this. Is it a bigger deal because his importance on this year's team is more central than it might have been even last year when you had a defense that you could adjust to, right, offensively, because you knew that they were going to hold the opponent down week to week? Does that create more?
Well, I think anytime you play with the defense we did last year, you have a little bit more. Right. You have more options. Let's put it that way.
Right.
Which you saw last year. I mean, we could just kind of run the ball and use the clock and then figure we could win 17-16 last year. Well, we're fairly young on defense this year, so we don't have that option. But anytime you lose you or potentially could lose a starting quarterback, it's an issue. Make a difference what it is. But last year's defense did give us other options.
For more information, you can visit TulsaWorld.com.